Today is a big day. Today, I fly out to Oakland to go interview with what could be my next company. Now, I haven't been looking for a job. They actually came to me, and this is a group of friends that I've worked with at my old job. Now I'd be working with them at my new job. It'd be similar roles, but entirely different technology. The venture that they've started is a machine learning data processing venture, and it sounds super exciting. Right now, I write iOS code, and I like doing that, but sometimes it's time to get a swift kick in the butt, right? Like to get a change so that you can progress into a better person, a better version of yourself, right? And I've realized over the past year or two that maybe I've become a bit complacent, not necessarily in my personal goals, but in some of my career goals. And so it feels like it's time to move on. Now, I'm a little nervous. This is the first time I've interviewed at a place in like 7 years. But it is, like I said, with a group of friends, so I'm not terribly nervous. But it is not by any stretch of the imagination an assured thing. If I go in there and I blow portions of the interview, I'm not getting the job. So we'll just see. Hopefully you all get to see this vlog later on, and hopefully I get to be gainfully employed with some of my close dear friends, working on some really exciting and awesome things. Let's see how it goes. So it is the morning of the interview. I am starting to get a little bit nervous. It's about 9 o'clock. The interview is not until 11. I got here late last night, and well, it was late my time. The plane ride was relatively uneventful. The BART ride was something, because at one point they rebooted the train. They just flat out, all of a sudden, we were sitting there and the train stopped in the middle of a tunnel, and I hear, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be turning the lights out momentarily, and it's going to be dark, just don't panic, it's just for 90 seconds. And so all of a sudden they turn all the lights out on the train, which was a little bit shocking. Then we shudder forward about 300 yards, and the train stops again, and all of a sudden the guy comes on the radio. Ladies and gentlemen, we're having some technical difficulties. We're going to do some troubleshooting, and we're going to see how it goes. So now I'm like, oh man, we're going to be stuck on this train. And all of a sudden, this dude comes running out of the back, or out of the front. runs into our car, throws open a panel, looks inside the panel at all the blinking lights, throws the panel shut, checks another panel on the other side, and then proceeds, car 10's clear, proceeds to run back towards the end of the train. And this guy, it was like a 10 car system, and it was a big train. So we ended up getting to city center, Union City, something like that. And at that point they said the train was out of service, and so we had to pick up another train. I eventually made it here. You're good. Come on through. This is when you awkwardly tell your host that you're a vlogger. It's very terrible. Eventually made it here. Spent really maybe 30 minutes with my hosts, and then slept like a rock. I slept really well. The interview today, I really hope goes well. I am trying not to be nervous about it. I don't get nervous about very many things, especially things like public speaking or being in front of people. But once you consider that like there's a job, gainful employment on the line, or the fact that I really want to work with these people, it makes a difference. So I will update y'all after the interview, and whether or not I'm successful depends on whether or not anybody gets to see this vlog. Love it. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. It is the day after the interview. It is about 4:30 a.m. I'm at the airport a little bit early for my 6 a.m. flight. It has truly been a whirlwind visit. I think I've been here for less than 36 hours at this point. Interview day went mostly great. I really killed it in the first 5-6 interviews. When it came time for the paired programming interview, I had spent a lot of time preparing and learning Node. As soon as I got into it, I learned very quickly that there was a entire subsection of Node, which is the async model, which is probably the most important model that all of the online tutorials I had taken had neglected. And as a result, I had to struggle through what was a very grueling and humbling paired programming exercise. I did manage to get to the right conclusion. I got the right answer. It was not the most, how shall we say, elegant of solutions, but it got the job done. It got it done in some kind of minimal time complexity. And for the most part, I'm glad that I did it. Am I going to get the job? I don't know. We'll see in a few days. I had a 4-hour layover in Charlotte. And I spent that time reflecting. I did a little bit of eating because it was a long flight from San Francisco. Did some video editing, putting this thing together. But I was still uncertain about what the fate of my job interview was. How did things go? I'm loading up onto the plane. It's about 6:30, and all of a sudden I get a text from the guy that was going to hire me. Do you have a moment to talk? I was like, crap. Up and away I went, not completely certain if I had the job, but knowing that I would find out for certain on the other side. So once I land in Norfolk, I call the guy that was hiring me. I couldn't immediately get in touch with him. We played phone tags a few times. Eventually got out to the truck at the airport, and sure enough, I got the job. I'm pretty ecstatic. I'm pretty excited. It feels like this is a new chapter in my life. I have managed to pull myself, well, not pull myself, I did my best, but they liked me well enough to offer me a chance out of my current job. And it's not that my current job is terrible. It's far from it. It was a really great job. But you know, once you've been in something for nearly 7 years, you get to the point where you just realize it's time for a change, and it was time for a change. I didn't realize how much of a time for a change it was until I finally got that offer. Said, hey, not only do we want you to work with us, but we really want you to work with us, and here it is. And the offer was better than I had anticipated, which is super exciting. I'll be working for a small startup. I'll be the 9th person that's an employee. We're doing some really big things in machine learning and in data analysis. It's just super exciting work. I'm going to be an engineer, of course, but I'll also be talking to customers, which is kind of my sweet spot. That's what I love to do. And I am going to be working with some super close, super dear friends once again. You know, when I finally told the CEO, who also happens to be a very close friend, that I was going to be joining, he said, man, that's the best birthday present I could get. And while I admit I'm pretty awesome, I still think he could probably get better birthday presents, but hey. Anyways, this is it. I went on a trip. I interviewed. I did relatively well, except for that one part that I didn't do well at, but I still managed to pull it through. I resigned today, effective in 2 weeks, and I am going to become an employee of Outlier. So there you have it. I will talk to you all soon. Bye.